We explain the impact of the American and the French revolutions on establishing the concert of Europe. In the process of trying to conquer Europe to create a French empire, Napoleon actually inspired a movement of nationalism across the continent and the globe. For example, the Holy Roman Empire had been divided into quarreling German states for 1,000 years, but found themselves unifying behind the strength of Prussia and under the umbrella of the German culture, like Christkindlmarkt. And by 1871, there would be one Germany. Italy had been divided for just as long under the city-states, but being ruled under Napoleon, they had learned the power of unity. They vanquished the Pope to only rule the Vatican and took the rest of Italy for themselves. Nationalism inspired Serbia and Greece to break free from the Ottoman Empire. Nationalist revolutions were in Belgium, Poland, Ireland, and all across Europe. Nationalism is defined as having a strong sense of pride and devotion to one's country's borders, language, and culture. It's the belief that your country has an exceptional role to play in the world. The nationalist movement of the 1800s would launch a global competition for resources and industry. It would assimilate populations, launch trade agreements, it would create international wars and international peace efforts based on the interests of the players. Nationalism also played into a deeper power play happening in Europe between the conservatives and the liberals. Both sides used nationalism to promote the values they needed in order to gain or maintain power. The classic definition of a conservative was an individual who believed in a controlling central state ruled by a traditional class, composed of the authority of the church and a social hierarchy. There would be few choices and freedoms for the other classes, and they would live to serve the collective. The classic liberal was one who believed firmly in a government based on constitutions, private property rights, the limited role of government in economics, strong ties to liberty, and natural rights without government interference. They believed strongly in the role of the individual. These two ideologies would play against each other throughout the 19th century in the shaping of the new states. The French Revolution was definitely a symbol of liberalism, and it frightened conservatives around the globe. After the fall of Napoleon at Waterloo, the old order conservative monarchs of Europe scrambled to reestablish their control. They met in Vienna for 10 months at an event that's been called the Congress of Vienna. The strongest players at the conference were Prince Metternich of Austria, Alexander I of Russia, and Lord Castlereagh of Britain. Talleyrand also showed up to show his new loyalty to the monarchy in France and keep in the mix, always a survivor. They met to protect the monarchy and the church and to create a balance of power in Europe where a Napoleon could never rise again. To accomplish this, first they redrew the borders of Europe. They created a series of conservative buffer nations around France. Belgium, Luxembourg, and Holland were pushed into the Netherlands, Prussia was put on the Rhine, and Austria was given northern Italy. Then they brought back all the old monarch families that had been replaced by Napoleon's family. This new balance would be called the Concert of Europe, be guarded by the Quadruple Alliance, and lead to continental peace for 100 years.